York's classic rock, Q1043.
And Hank Azaria is here with us. Congratulations to you.
On why? There's so many things.
You verified on TikTok.
Oh, I know, right?
You know, that's a big deal.
It was an ordeal for me. I couldn't get verified on the thing. I had social media experts working at it. I contacted the government. I went through all kinds of things and finally got whatever the equivalent of a check mark. I don't know what they do there.
I don't either.
Yeah.
But I know you were very proud of that accomplishment.
I did put some social media out about that yesterday.
Yes, you did.
Well, it took months. And then, we made some mistake. I'm here to promote my Springsteen band. We'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
But, the way one of the most effective ways you promote that is through Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Fans of that age tend to go on there, and you do some paid ads, and it reaches folks. And we made a mistake back in the summer somehow. I don't even understand. And they froze us out of doing paid ads for months. It was just till a week ago that we could actually do our ads again.
Zuckerberg came after him. Yeah.
Yeah, weird. Modern world we live in.
Well, the shameless plugging that we will do, of course.
I just did one.
Is Hank Azaria and the Easy Street Band, which came out of a birthday party experience?
Pretty much a post-midlife crisis. Turned 60 last April. I'm not really a party guy, but I wanted to do something. But I didn't want to face a party, so what would be fun? And I cooked up this idea of a reverse surprise party where I gathered a lot of folks, put together a Springsteen tribute band. I didn't tell anybody. Worked on these songs. I got really obsessed. I've been imitating the way Bruce talks since I'm a teenager. Because those talks, as we called them, from the bootlegs, from the live recordings, and which meant as much to me as the songs, because they really spoke to me as a troubled teen. They really, really did. And but I had to, little detail, Jim, I had to learn to sing in order to actually imitate.
That little thing.
I've sung all through my career, but always in a jokey character, cartoony way.
Felicia Williams sings all the time, but no one cares how bad he sounds. There's no people. He's got a real merman belt,
But I really got so obsessed. I worked harder on this than any other vocal thing I've ever done. 6 solid months of just line by line on songs. And then I got a vocal coach once I felt the impression was in the realm. And I'm still working at it. I really love it.
Well, as a voice actor, of course, you've done a lot of other things as well. And when I mentioned to people you're going to be on the show, I heard so many different reactions. There was one immediate reaction I got, which was, Spam-a-lot!
Yes.
Oh, yes. You were Lancelot, right?
I was also the knight who says "ni." Oh, you remember?
I was the French taunter. I farted in your general direction.
Fantastic. This is amazing.
And I did.
You've really covered a lot of ground in your career, but you've created these amazing vocal characterizations for different characters. And those you create in your head. You may get from a director some general idea of what they want the character to be like, but you create what it is that we eventually hear.
That is our job.
Yes,
We're sort of living AI, if you will.
But at the same time, I'm thinking that maybe the same part of your brain, the same talented area in there, also allows you to do impressions.
They're connected. In fact, the vocal creations, for example,
You take Mo the bartender. Let's listen to... All right, so there's Mo, right?
Bruce was I idolized him as a teenager, so I mimicked him. Found that I could, so I did. When I was at that age, I also loved young Al Pacino. Godfather Al, Dog Day Afternoon Al. I'm dying here. Everybody's coming down on me here. That Al. I was doing a play in L.A. where I was playing a drug dealer. I kind of did the Al Pacino voice. And I auditioned for The Simpsons. And I thought that voice might be good for Mo the bartender. They said, well, we like that, but it needs to be gravelly. So you take young Al Pacino, at least in my mind,
and you make him gravelly, and you get Mo the bartender. So you kind of repurpose him with a twist, and it turns into a character voice.
So that's the kind of direction you get. Make it gravelly.
In that case, yes. but most of I'm a mimic at heart. It's really what and so sometimes the mimicry is good, and like I loved Stallone growing up. I love Rocky. It's a pretty good Rocky, you know. South Jersey, South Camden, South Paul. And, but some are not so good. But even though they're not a great impression, they're a good character voice. If you can act well within that vocal range. So, yeah, it's a lot of playing around like that.
And you had to then, of course, assemble a band.
Yes, my son is a gifted piano player, gifted pianist, which you have to pronounce properly.
Right.
And his jazz piano teacher I knew was in a Genesis cover band, very gifted guy. And I said, if I work up some Bruce songs, can you put together a band for me? And, you know, he's a very sweet guy, but he kind of looked at me funny and went, sure.
Genesis cover band, you got to be pretty good.
Well, he's amazing.
Yeah.
That wasn't the question.
Yeah.
The question was, can, you know, Mr. Cartoon Voice guy actually sing with a band? You know, he was like, yeah, okay, actor who's probably, you know, doing some weird thing for his 60th birthday on the lark. That's going to pay people but waste a lot of people's time too. And so he really worked with me. We had to switch the keys up because I sing a little lower than Bruce. And although as I work at it, my key is climbing as I work more vocally. But yeah, and then I got, like I say, totally obsessed. And he put together an amazing band. They're all professional musicians. I don't know if you've heard any of our stuff. We might have sent you our Thunder Road. But
I didn't know, but we've been watching a lot on the TikTok.
All right.
We did.
I was going to ask you what's your favorite song to perform, if you, or maybe you have a few.
My favorite to perform is Grown Up.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a live version from way back ago where he tells this whole long story in the middle of how this motorcycle accident he had, and how his mom wanted to be a lawyer and his dad wanted to be a writer, or maybe vice versa. And tonight we're all just going to have to settle for rock and roll. And I kind of use that format. I love that live version that features saxophone. He doesn't really do that on the album. And I tell the story of the two times I met Bruce, one of which was backstage at Spamalot, and how I made a complete fool of myself, not once, but twice. I get infected with what my friend calls Bruce juice, and my voice goes up about 9 octaves. And I mean to say things like, Bruce, your music meant a lot to me, but it comes out, Bruce, you meant a lot to me. And I've done that to him not once, but twice.
Well,
That's what I'm trying to hold back right now. I'm so excited. You're here.
Yeah, we got a Simpsons fan over there.
well, you know, the Road Diary premieres tomorrow
Oh, yes.
on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Yes.
And have you had a chance to see it yet?
Not yet.
It's really extraordinary.
I can't wait.
It's really extraordinary.
I'm just finally, believe it or not, getting down to reading his autobiography. I'm halfway through Born to Run. And I'm loving it, especially having now feel like I discovered him in a whole new way and trying to sing like him. So now reading all about his early... And we're playing the Stone Pony November 15th, by the way, which I could not be more excited about.
And Brooklyn Bowl in Brooklyn on November 8th. But yes, the Stone Pony would have more significance, I understand, even though the Brooklyn Bowl is a very cool place.
Oh, it's great. We were just rehearsing there yesterday.
Yeah, but Stone Pony, Asbury Park.
Legend.
It's the mothership.
Yeah.
What it is.
It also shows a great deal of courage.
I guess. But there are so many tribute bands.
Yes, I know.
It's Bruce Land.
I know there's so many tribute bands, and there have been some really good ones, like Backstreet's,
I used to hear Backstreet's like to our show.
Yeah.
You're stepping into the
they were very
lion's
good.
den.
But the thing is, these are kind of, anonymous guys put a band together,
Yeah.
they do the tribute. You're not an anonymous guy. You're a famous star stepping into an entirely
Could be a
different
target,
world
I
and universe.
understand. The band is amazing. I have no doubts there on how great they recreate the sound of the E Street Band. And what really carries me through that kind of nervousness is I have such genuine love, passion, and joy around this music that if nothing else, I know that comes through. And I've been working really hard. I mean, I have been at not so much singing, but this vocal thing for quite a while. And I think I know when I'm really getting in the realm of something that captures the spirit that needs to be captured. So I feel good about that.
So it's a loving tribute.
Oh, beyond, and we've played only a few times, and people ask me, do you feel like a rock star? Is it fulfilling that fantasy? And the truth is, it's not really. I feel, because they're Bruce fans in the audience, and I really feel like what it is, which is I am a fan who got lucky enough to jump up on stage and share that love of Bruce at the mic, because I think one of the things we love so much about Bruce is not just his poetry, but that feeling that he's singing and speaking directly to you, that he is talking about your life, and he writes so cinematically that he creates a movie in your head that we all attach to our own personal memories. And so I share a lot of mine. I share them in the course of the show. But what really you feel palpably is if I pulled any audience member up and handed them the mic, they could tell me their story of what they associate with She's the One, or the first time they heard Promised Land, or what Jungle Land means to them. And it would be just as compelling an evening. So that's really more the vibe of the show.
All right, it's 8:15. Hank Azaria is with us. We'll be right back. Okay, Hank Azaria is here with us at Q104.3.
We're patriots talking.
Yes,
really?
I know. I'm sorry.
Listen, they pay the bills sometimes.
Here,
What's the difference between a dude and a dog, anyway? A huge dude and a dog.
I haven't the faintest clue. I really don't know. This is something from one of your colleagues, who's a frequent visitor.
Ahoy, ahoy, this is C. Montgomery Burns, and when I'm not counting my money, and when would that be? When getting my heart restarted, I sure as heck wouldn't listen to that weakling Jim Kerr on Q1043, whatever that means. Sorry, he's sitting right next to you. Nonsense. Release the hounds!
With the friend Harry Shearer.
And he loves radio.
Yeah,
he does. With your type of work, do you get to interact with your colleagues often, or is it kind of solitary?
No, we used to. In the early days, we always would record together. Some animation projects really want you all in the same room. George Miller, who I worked for on the Happy Feet movies, he flew us all to Australia to record together. That was really something. Yeah, he really wanted us in the same room. But usually you're separate. And nowadays, since the pandemic, they sent all this equipment to our house. And ever since then, I sit at a laptop with a nice mic. And that's it. It's real convenient.
Just to sit there and do Duff Man?
They'll never get me back again. Yeah. Duff Man enjoys his coffee.
Well, you've done so much. You've done drama. You've done comedy. I mean, The Birdcage. I mean, think of, that is real acting. I mean, come on.
Well, that was an imitation of my maternal grandmother, that voice. I worked on this Guatemalan accent for a long time. Almost as hard as I worked on the Bruce thing. And I realized this is just the way my grandma Esther talks. I could have just imitated her. A lot of voices are just imitations of family, friends, teachers.
Then I have to
but
ask.
it wasn't just a voice. I mean, you're talking about a physical presence.
For me, Jim, can I call you Jim?
Yes.
Okay. The body tends to follow the voice. And the attitude and the mindset and the emotions. It's a weird thing. And yesterday, we had rehearsal yesterday, and the farther I go singing as Bruce, and the more I feel like I'm getting locked in, and it's kind of flowing like a river that don't know where it's flowing. I felt a few times that thing I've only experienced as an actor, like doing Agador, or like Mo. I can't talk as Mo without getting kind of angry. I start to get really irritated, with everybody. I'm starting to get pretty sick of you guys in here. And I'm not even kidding. It kind of happens. And I started to feel something singing yesterday that was just, I don't know what really Bruce feels like inside, but it started to feel like the body was really following the voice, which starts to happen.
All right, it's Hank Azaria, who is with us, and
I have to ask about Brockmire.
Okay.
Because Brockmire was one of my favorite shows going on. And, Sam Rosen's retiring from the Rangers, and they're going to probably have an open spot. I think Brockmire would be a great fit to do the Garden for the Rangers.
I could. I'd have to work with one of my arch enemies, Don LaGreca there. Don't care for Don. No, I love Don. But we have a little, actually, Hank Azaria, have a little rivalry going with Don. Because I used to like the Yankees when I was a kid. He likes to call me a fraud. because then I declared for the Mets.
You're a
after
big Mets guy.
2000 Subway Series.
Yeah, but what an awesome season the Mets gave their fans this
It was
year.
great.
Yeah.
It was one of the most exciting seasons, even arguably more exciting than a championship season. It was incredible.
And I'm glad that you love baseball.
I do love baseball. That is a lot where the Jim Brockmeyer thing came from. I grew up. This is the what I call it is the generic 70s announcer baseball voice. You just usually had this guy giving you the game. He could say whatever he wanted as long as he gave you the count afterwards. And Harry Shearer and I used to joke at The Simpsons about that. Like, these guys could say whatever they want, you know. And that became one of the premises of Brockmeyer. You know, I had a difficult night last night with a woman who was not my wife about an 8-ball of cocaine and another fellow named Cha-Cha's. John Johnson swings and misses at a breaking ball 0-1. So, like, how far can you carry that concept?
That was pretty good. Well, I say the Garden, too, because my third most memorable Hank Azaria moment's 1998's Godzilla.
Oh, were you the one person who enjoyed that film?
You're getting chased by Godzilla, close the door, and you turn around and go, whoa! This is where the Knicks shower. For some reason.
That was an ad-lib, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah, I remember that.
That's the funniest line of the whole movie to me.
But you know,
Which says a lot about the film.
you know, I mean, you just did. I mean, that was satirically so creative. You know what you just did. The fact of the matter is, though, among broadcasters, those baseball play-by-play guys on the radio, not on TV, because you can see what's going on TV. They are superb storytellers.
Amazing. People, I get offers, because I did Brockmeyer, I get offers to go call games. I'm like, no, I can't do that. That's an incredible... I'm also not a surgeon, although I played one. You don't want me operating on you. I mean, it's an entirely different thing.
I mean, they are extraordinary. They really are.
Amazing. Amazing. I can go in... I've gone into the booth many times, for the Mets or at ESPN, and I've prepared jokes about the teams, and I can kind of seamlessly make it feel like I'm coming up with it impromptu, but I cannot. I can't call a game.
Okay, we just have to break for the news, and we'll be back to do the shameless plugging. 8:37, we are thrilled to have Hank Azaria with us here. Hank Azaria and the Easy Street Band will be performing at Brooklyn Bowl on November 8th, and then at the Stone Pony in Asbury Park, New Jersey on November 15th. He's put this labor of love together. And
it's all for charity, by the way, Jim. All net proceeds go to my foundation. Education, social justice, recovery causes.
Okay. And my boss, Big E, is in here. And you would not believe the conversations that we had in his office before you came up here. With my boss telling me what a huge fan he is of you.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you.
You know, you're in the pantheon for sure.
Well, this guy's got a Simpsons pinball machine in his house.
I know.
Story.
Yeah.
I know. Do you get royalties for that?
I probably. But I'm sure that by this point they're like one of them like 12-cent checks you get.
What's the smallest one you ever received?
I think I've got one for 0 cents.
Wow, they actually spent money on a
why'd
check.
they send this?
All right,
Wait.
so Hank, Stone Pony,
that-
November
that-
15th.
That's right.
It's very near a place where somebody by the name of Bruce lives. He has been known to jump up on stage for things. So
We
talking
looked
about
into this.
a TikTok moment for you.
He's going to be in L.A. that week. But it is part of a crazy dream of this project is one of these, because we're going to keep playing. I mean, what happened was that night of my birthday for my 60th, this reverse surprise band we put together. With like 2 weeks before the party, I realized, I didn't tell everybody no gifts. We invited like 500 people. I said, please, no gifts, but donate to the foundation if you want to. And we raised $30K that night.
Whoa.
Okay, well, tell us about the foundation. Do they have a website?
Yes, it's called the 4 through 9 Foundation. And if you go...
Would that be numerals or words?
Numerals, 4 through 9.
All right.
And...
THRU or OUGH?
THROUGH, 4 through 9.
Okay, well, then you have to be precise with
Yes.
these things.
If you Google me and put that, or even if you go to get tickets, you'll see there's a link and 4 through 9 Foundation.
Okay, well, we're going to world premiere your performance.
Oh, all right. Let's do it.
I mean, it's a radio world premiere.
That's right.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody has put this out yet.
Broadcast radio world premiere. Here's Hank Azaria and the Easy Street Band.
Man, I love that song.
Thank you so much.
That was so awesome.
Man, I love
Where
that
was
song
that? Live
too.
at the Garden?
That was live at Le Poussin Rouge, which is French for Le Poussin Rouge.
That's Hank Azaria and the Easy Street Band. And thank you so much for the honor of being able to play that on the radio for the first time.
I'm so glad you got. We didn't really plan that. I'm so glad I had it with me, and we were able to put it in the old machine here. And it was really a thrill for me to see you react to that, Jim, because I discovered Bruce through you a lot growing up. That's how I got Bruce, and so it means a lot to me. So it was a real thrill for me to
Only a few
watch
million
you react
people
to
heard
that.
it, so it's okay.
That was amazing. Okay, so once again, let's go through the dates and how people can get tickets.
November 8th, Brooklyn Bowl. You can go to their website or just Google me or easystreetband.com. November 8th, and November 15th at the Stone Pony. These are both Live Nation tours, so you can do it through them too. But if you just Google Hank Azaria, Easy Street Band, you'll find these dates.
Okay, and we've got easystreetnyc.com.
It's either Easy Street NYC or easystreet.com. Both go to the same place.
And at Hank Azaria on Instagram and X.
Yes, you got to do that these days for the kids.
And you're verified on TikTok.
I finally got verified. They're allowing my paid ads on Facebook. Watch out, world.
Who's hotter than you right now?
There's so many multiverse things.
QVC?
You were on Friends. You were with Phoebe, but of course, Dancing in the Dark is what introduced the world to Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
It folds back in on itself a lot here.
You know what's on cable now? A lot? Heat.
Yes. Yeah. That was.
So great.
There's a lot of stories connected to all these things.
Yes.
To intro She's the One, I tell the story of the night I met my wife, my actual wife, and it was at a party, and I was chatting with Paul Rudd in the kitchen. It was a Hollywood party, thus.
right. Yeah.
And this really cute blonde walked in, starts preparing food for the party. And I'm kind of looking at her, and I realized, wait, Paul Rudd, that was Mike on Friends. I was David the scientist guy. I'm not letting him, I lost Phoebe to him. I'm not losing another cute blonde to Ant-Man. So I dove in there. And she's now my wife and the mother of my child.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well, that's great. Hank Azaria, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it. November 8th, Brooklyn Bowl. Come on out.
We have 2.5 hours of commercial-free classic rock coming up for you. Oh, and the first little commercial here will be for the Bruce documentary, which will, in fact, premiere tomorrow. And we have our Bruce special, the one that I recorded with Bruce, and boy, that was fun. That's tomorrow night at 10 o'clock here on Q104.3 and all over the nation on iHeartRadio stations and on the app as well. It's 8:49 at the Q. Thanks again.
Thank you for having me.
New York's classic rock, Q104.3.